Today we're going to be breaking down fishing in Enshrouded, covering everything you need to know from the baits to use and the variety of fish available to how to catch them and where you can find the lucky fishing rod, as well as a few tips which might just help you land the rarer catch. So let's get fishing. Now firstly, you can craft a simple fishing rod with twigs, metal scraps and string. In the lower levels, you'll be able to craft simple fishing bait from critter parts and plant fiber, though you will also be able to find various baits to be used in each biome, which we'll cover shortly. But first, let's try catching a fish with the simple fishing rod. Since the update, certain areas have been given little ponds of water, such as this one here, which is actually between Revelwood and the base biome. It's just outside where you get the farmer. Unfortunately, my old base was there, and as you can see, it's flooded, so I might as well just remove all of this now. Oh, we could remove the water, but we won't do that. Regardless, in this spot, we're able to use this to fish, so we're just going to get rid of my current rods, and we will attach the simple one. When you have the simple fishing rod or any fishing rod attached, you can right click to find the various bait that's available. We're going with the simple one for this, and providing the water that you're by is deep enough, you'll be able to cast your line, and here it is important to wait. Fish will be available in any of the deeper water sources, but you can actually find fish more regularly in other locations. Now this fish is jumping, soon it will be hooked, and when it's hooked we have to left click the mouse button for us to start reeling it in. There we go. From here we can go the opposite way to the fish in order to reduce its stamina bar, and then once their stamina bar reaches 0, we can left click, and there you go, we have caught our first fish, the lake hopper, and you can choose to release it and fish again, but notice how that has used one of our baits. Once again, we have the exact same fish. If you left click the mouse whilst it's jumping for the hook, you can withdraw your line, and notice how we still have that bait. This is particularly useful when you have epic fishing bait and you spot a common, uncommon, or a fish that you're not interested in getting. One thing to note when fishing, the rarer the rod that you're using, the rarer the bait, or even the particular spot that you're fishing in, increases the likelihood of catching a rarer fish, but that is never guaranteed when fishing in Enshrouded, and you may even catch an old boot or just some potions if you're unlucky. We're now back at my base, or one of them at least, and I've decided, you know what, it would be really nice to be able to fish here. So what I'm doing is just digging out a little pond, and you can decorate this if you want, but really all you need is a big enough space and a deep enough hole. As you can see, we've added a little fishing pond, and now if we were to cast our rod, you should be able to see, oh, no fish bit. If we do it there, we should see a fish appear, such as that one there. But we're not going to worry about that just yet. Now that we know that we can fish at home, it's time to talk bait. Currently, there are 11 different types of bait available in the game. You can find fireflies at night in the Springlands, moths at night in Revelwood, crickets in the Nomad Highlands, scarabs in the Kindle Wastes, pillbugs in the Albaneve Summits, and frogs in the Vale Water Basin, and they all seem to be highlighted at night. So if you're struggling to find them during the day, do find them at night. Now these can be collected and used immediately, with each type better than the previous at catching rarer fish. But if there's a particular rarity of fish that you're after, then you'll want to use crafted fishing bait, as they increase the likelihood of catching a specific rarity. For example, the common fishing bait is preferred by common fish, uncommon bait, uncommon fish, and so on and so forth for both the rare and epic fishing bait. These types of bait can be found having spoken and completed the quests for the fisherman, who is found on a pier at the Dragon Dream Lake in the Veilwater Basin. And from him, you'll also be able to craft the excellent fishing rod and lucky fishing rod once found, as well as the fish trophy boards and other resources such as fish teeth, used for epic bait and fish fillets, though you'll want to have a stack of gold coins when speaking to him because he tends to use them for each of the recipes. Also, you have to do the associated quests to unlock the various items. At first, you'll only see him with, I believe, a rod and the trophy boards. Unfortunately, hanging fish on a trophy board doesn't seem to give us any buffs for ourselves or for us when we're at the base, but it was worth a try. By the way, but now that we have the bait covered and you'll have access to the excellent rod, hopefully, it's time to get good at fishing. And if the excellent fishing rod is a little bit expensive on resources, don't worry, you can grab an improved fishing rod from Ranger Athlan. I think the only difficult item to produce is iron bars, but that's not that difficult. Now, prior to heading out, there is one new skill devoted to fishing, and that's the Fisherman's Resolve. This increases our fishing endurance by 30%, allowing us to fish for longer, which may be useful if you are using a lower tier fishing rod. Now we're going to head out, and there's two locations that I really want to talk about. The first one is the one that the fisherman recommends, which is over at Lake Heartblood, and then you want to go across to this one, Fishing Island, and we'll convene there, as that's probably the first place you're going to get a rare fish. This spot here is the Fishing Island, and if you go onto this island and then head over to the pier, you'll notice there are ripples in the surface. So if we jump down, you can actually see there's a school of fish at this spot, which I'm presuming, I don't know for sure, but I will bet my bottom dollar that it increases the chance of you getting rarer fish, or better loot, I should say, if you fish in this spot. So again, we're pulling the hook back and the bait back if we spot a fish that's one that we think isn't rare, because it's just not worth it when you're using the epic bait. I think this is a rare fish. It might even be an epic one. So we're going to grab it. So again, we're going the opposite way to the fish. And you can see it's a fair bit more difficult to catch. Now, when watching the bar, it can be quite easy to miss the mouse click. So make sure you listen for the little jump out of the water if you're not paying attention to the fish swimming. Because if you miss one of those mouse clicks, you will lose the fish. There we go. And we have got the Thorn Ridge. Now let's head over to Starfish Shores. Now, when looking for fishing spots, I highly recommend looking for little piers, because once again, you can see here, we've found a pier and also a school of fish. So once again, we will try fishing here. And this is a yellowfin tuna. This is really good because if we can catch it, we can get fish teeth from them. But they are probably the most difficult fish to catch because they just change their direction so quickly. Wow, that was actually close, but you can see this is another rare fish, epic fish even, and that's a pretty good shot. So we'll take that. The next good spot to fish is the fish farm, but not here because, as you can see, there are no ripples. However, if we go over here, you can see there are ripples in the water there. And this one's the shock fin, which is actually useful for one of the spells that you'll need as a mage. We are now at the Dragon Dream Lake, And you can see we've got 2 more fishing spots available. I've just realized the one fish that I haven't found is actually a rare fish. So I'm going to have a go with the rare fishing bait and throw it at the ripples here. And hopefully we can find ourselves a shadowtail. That is a shadowtail! No, 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 I preempted it. Yes. And there we go, we have caught the shadowtail. Anyway, while we're here, there is one more fishing spot that I have spotted. It's just over here on this little pier. Yeah, you can see the fish in the water there. So that is another great spot for catching fish. But we're going to leave the fishing spots now because I'm sure there are many more which you can explore yourself. And I'm sure they're going to be adding more fish at a later date as well. The only other thing we should mention in regards to fishing is if you head over to this spot in Gold Rock Saddle, there are fish that you can catch by hand. For this, we're just going to fly over Gold Rock Saddle right to the end in the northeast corner. And there are also fishing spots here, but I'm not going to go into that for this. And then this little spot here, you'll notice, have a load of fish in them. And if you drop down, you can just press E to catch these, as you can see. And these just give you fish cutlets. All right, next, let's talk about the lucky catch. One of the quests that the fisher gives you is lucky catch, and you're told to search out a hidden chest in the suspicious ruin. And I have looked all over the place. I've looked in the waters, I've looked all around here, and I just couldn't find anything. And I thought, why do they make it so difficult? What if there was some indication as to where the hidden chest will be? And then it occurred to me, X marks the spot, right? So if you just dig here, don't tell me they're trolling. There we go. So here we have the lucky find, which is a lucky fishing rod. It doesn't quite have as much endurance as the excellent fishing rod, but it's more likely to catch treasures. That is good to know. Now, just before we finish off, one last thing to mention is that there are a total of 14 fish in the game. If you want to see which are available, your best bet is to go to here because you can grill all of them. There are 3 common, which is the grilled lake hopper, shimmerfin, and silverback. Then we have 3 of the common ones, the sunscale, striped tail, and the whiskerfin. This is the one that I caught which unlocked the seafood grill for me, that particular quest. And then we also have 4 rare, the wave leaper, the shadowtail, which we just caught, the grilled crimsonback and emberfin, as well as 3 epic ones, the shockfin, the thron ridge, and the yellowfin tuna. But before you cook them, there are various recipes that the farmer can cook for you using some of those fish, but some of them will need to be prepared first. For example, this one is one of the special ones. It's a particularly good one. It requires seared fish fillet. For that, you're going to have to go over to the fisher, and that is going to require either the yellowfin tuna, the thorn ridge, or the shockfin. So it's the epic foods for that, and that will also cost gold coins as well. Whereas the others can be turned into cutlets, or like I just mentioned, you can just fish them for free over in Gold Rock Saddle. But there we are, guys, for this one. I hope you found this video helpful. If you have, please hit the thumbs up and share it with your friends. And if you want to see more, why not check out my guide on water mechanics next. But until next time, as always, ciao for now.